Hi guys, back here again to talk about some dolls. If you're new here, hi, hello, how are you? I hope your weekend is going good. Mine, well, I get to talk about dolls, which is my favorite thing to do, so it's going great. This is my channel where I talk all about fashion dolls, and occasionally other things that interest me, but mostly fashion dolls. And this here is a series I like to do on my channel where I talk about new or upcoming fashion doll releases to keep my viewers updated on the happenings and goings on in the doll aisle. And yes, I do give some of my personal opinions on them. And look, here's the thing about opinions. Everyone's got them. Mine just happen to be the only ones that matter. Do I enjoy sitting here and passing judgment on little plastic women who cannot defend themselves? Yes, I do, immensely, actually. That's why I started a YouTube channel where I do exactly that. Fortunately, I do not have a lengthy life update to pad this video introduction with, so we can go ahead and just get right into it. As always, we'll start with Barbie, and Barbie has been booked and busy lately. There's quite a lot to talk about with Barbie in this installment, and I really wouldn't be surprised if the video ends up being almost entirely Barbie, because she said this month was going to be her time to shine, I guess, and she just has not let any of us breathe. This might be a little out of order, taking into account release dates, but first is the collaboration set with Noonoouri. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If you don't know who Noonoouri is, you're not alone. She is what is described as a virtual influencer, so she's not a real person. I mean, obviously. It looks like she has a pretty decent following, but I was not at all familiar with her before seeing this set announced. A little side note here, a lot of articles I saw about Noonoouri called her an AI influencer, but the people behind her account have a lot more recently walked back on that claim. I think because AI, artificial intelligence, just has some very different connotations now than it did a few years ago, but as far as I can tell, she's not AI generated. There is a team of people and artists who create her images and her animation models, and she's voiced by her creator. I don't know, I thought that was important to mention. All that said, I am just not a huge fan of the concept of a virtual influencer to begin with. Like, someone who uses an avatar to represent themselves is one thing, like VTubing, that's fun, but this just feels different and a little more, I don't know, I don't want to say unsettling because it's not like scary, it doesn't make me uncomfortable, but I just don't see any reason to follow or engage with something like Noonoouri as opposed to someone with a personality. I'm sure that sounds mean, but Noonoouri isn't real. She probably will not be offended. Anyways, I don't want to derail this video because that just feels like a completely separate discussion. The dolls. There's Noonoouri herself and then Barbie in Noonoouri's style, and I don't like them. I'm sorry, I don't like the faces or the proportions, and this is unrelated from my misgivings about virtual influencers or whatever. I just do not like how they look. The clothes are not bad, I'll give them that. Regardless of how the dolls look, it's always nice to see Barbie utilize this very high glam, bold, sparkly pink aesthetic. The styling, I think, it feels very appropriate for what this set is. The faces are just a huge deal breaker for me, and I feel like a hypocrite saying this, honestly, because I've loved a lot of dolls with uncanny faces in the past. I mean, Rainbow High, LOL OMG. Maybe it's just because it's Barbie that it feels so off for me. I'm not sure. This set is exclusive to Mattel Creations and costs $150. It's that time of the show, kids, where we all say overpriced. Yes, a good job. But I don't think it's a bad or a poorly designed set at all. I think it's just very much not for me and not something I would want to buy. Next, we have the second doll in the returning Barbie fashion model collection, the new wave of Silkstone dolls. This one doesn't seem to have a specific name. She's just called Fashion Model Collection number 2. Fashion Model Collection number 2 does look pretty nice. I do have to ask why her gloves are so big. The fabric choice makes them look like huge oven mitts. And I know you can't sew proper gloves at such a small scale, but it's just always a little funny to me when they do the oven mitt thing. Otherwise, I mean, it's a pretty look. There's some nice fabric choices here, nice and thick and pretty well constructed too. I think I would like the BFMC in the future to maybe stray away from this vague evening wear with an updo sort of aesthetic. Not that I have anything against it, but all my favorite dolls from the original collection are the ones that incorporate more day wear, more casual wear, or just have a really strong theme. I don't know if they'll ever do more lingerie dolls, but I would really love some of those too. She is $125 and also exclusive to Mattel Creations and Club 59, their Barbie membership, which, whoa, that's almost double the price of the last one. I think we need to dial it back a little. Okay, Mattel? Next, the Gala Collection Pink Premiere doll, also exclusive to Club 59. I think it's safe to say that there's something of a shift happening with Barbie. It looks like Mattel is really, really embracing the whole, Barbie core aesthetic. What I want to know is why they're doing this more than a year after the Barbie movie. Imagine if they dropped a doll like this to celebrate the premiere of the Barbie movie. Like, hello? I'm not complaining because I'm happy to have gotten this doll at all, but Mattel just really confuses me sometimes. Anyways, I love this doll. She came out a day after my birthday, and I did not hesitate to buy her. Like, it was instant. I think she is so incredibly gorgeous and just so quintessential Barbie to me. Beautiful face, long, elegant blonde hair, bright pink gown, and a fur stole. You guys know I love a stole. And the best part is that she was $50, which is not at all a bad price. Still a little much, but not too bad. So, yeah, you win this round, Mattel. But also, I love this doll, so I win too. Next, for Batman's 85th anniversary, we got Barbie dolls of Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. And I've talked about this before, but I love DC Comics. I have since I was very young. And I love these characters. My cat, Ivy, is literally named after Poison Ivy, so I was really looking forward to these. First thing I'll say, the faces do not disappoint at all. They both look so good in the face department. Hair to neck up, perfect. No complaints, no notes. Harley, I think, looks pretty good. Overall, this isn't my favorite Harley costume, but I know it's one that's really iconic and recognizable now. And it's well executed on the doll. Everything looks pretty nice here. I also love that this outfit very conveniently covers those awful looking made-to-move joints on her body, which is great for me, but yes, good doll, good job. Ivy is a bit of a different story. I like that they included that crossbow on her wrist like she had in the old animated series. That's a cool detail. What I don't like is almost everything else. Her costume just looks, I mean, really kind of awful. The thin fabric combined with the raw laser cut edges combined with the printed on leaf pattern. It just looks really, really cheap. And I know it's a lot to ask for a leotard made of tiny individual leaves, but I really do feel like there was a better way to execute this look. For one, like, just scrap the leaves, just make it out of the same pleather material that Harley's is made out of, with like a vine belt or just vines placed around the body or something, because what this outfit needs is dimension or texture, something. I did end up passing on these because they released at a time when I just didn't have a lot of money to drop on them, and at $55 each, that is quite a lot to buy both of them, which is a little sad because, like I said, I do love these characters quite a lot, but And I think I might just buy the Harley and Ivy Barbies from the early 2000s instead to fill the void. Next, another Barbie collector's release, the Barbie Tribute to Fashion doll, which seems to be a new series of Barbies where each will be inspired by a different era of fashion. I think that's a really cool idea. The first one, this one, represents the 18th century. I think she's really, really gorgeous. Like, actually, wow, really, really beautiful, really well designed, exactly the standard that I want to see from a collector's Barbie. I don't think I'll be getting her because she is $100, and again, I just don't have that much money to drop all at once unless I'm like absolutely in love with something, which obviously I love her, but I can live without her. Reluctantly, but I can. If I had to give one critique, I do wish the tulle of the petticoat layer had more shape to it, that it poofed out like the overskirt instead of looking so stiff, because it doesn't look like that effect was entirely intentional. But otherwise, yeah, a really good doll. Okay, now we have something on the playline side of Barbie to talk about. A new line called Barbie Deluxe Style. And it seems like along with Barbie Dream Besties, they are meant to fill the gap left behind by the cancellation of Barbie Extra, which I am admittedly very okay with. As you may or may not know, I had a very strained relationship with Barbie Extra. But do you see what I mean by a shift happening at Mattel? I mean, it really took them long enough, but I'm happy to see them embracing all these things again. Pink, makeup, heels, glamour, fashion. I think these all look pretty cool. There's some fabric choices here that I think were just kind of odd. Like the one with the braids, her outfit looks a bit like it was made from felt. But since these are more for kids, maybe they're prioritizing more like tactile fabrics. I'm not sure. But overall, a big step up from some of the stuff we've seen from Barbie in the last few years. I'm not entirely sure on the price range of these. I think $20 each. That feels about right. But I'm really excited to see where this particular line goes and what it has in store for the future. Okay, finally, we are out of the Barbie section. And now, on to Disney. First, a new line from the company Just Play, a fashion doll spin-off of the Disney Doorables line called Disney Doorables Adorbs. So just like the parent line, these are blind boxed. However, if you buy them in store, the packaging will have a symbol that tells you which doll is inside, is what I've heard. These are interesting. In recent years, I've definitely come around to this style, these very stylized dolls with very exaggerated proportions. I don't know if I'm really drawn to these, though. I think they push it maybe just a bit too far for my tastes. That said, the lineup of characters they use is pretty cool. Like, you know, compared to Disney Illy, where it's the sort of same 6 or 7 characters being used over and over, we have characters like Alice, Lotso, Lightning McQueen, so that's, yeah, I mean, it's nice. Also from Disney and Mattel, the 35th anniversary Little Mermaid doll. For a very, very long time, I have been asking Disney to release a proper doll of Ariel in her finale dress, that purple gown she was wearing at the very end of the movie. Because let's be real, that was a moment, like a legendary gag, right? But Disney for years has like more or less just pretended that dress does not exist. Like it didn't even get an equivalent in the live action movie, which even though I love that movie, was one of my biggest disappointments. But I think this doll does it justice. I'm actually not too crazy about the high collar. I think she would look better without it, in my opinion, because the gown is enough. It doesn't really need anything else, right? She looks great. I'm not entirely sure of her exact release date or her price yet. I would guess somewhere maybe in the $50 range. I would be surprised if she was more than that, but this is Mattel we're talking about here. Okay, here's something really, really exciting. The loyal subjects, who, if you don't know, are behind the recent relaunches of Rainbow Bright and Strawberry Shortcake, have acquired yet another vintage property to make dolls of. Jim and the Holograms. I know, right? Oh my god. I'm so incredibly excited. Like, I have dreamed of times like this. For now, we just have one image of an upcoming gym doll and a very vague 2025 release date. I don't know what the lineup will be like, but I really hope we get the whole cast. Like, literally just take my money. I'm so excited to see more details on this. Next, so I try to include more Integrity Toys stuff in these videos because I know some people like to follow what they're up to, but I honestly just forget to stay on top of it because if one of their releases doesn't interest me, I sort of just forget it exists because IT doesn't really have a big presence outside of their own community, and I always end up neglecting them when I'm not specifically focusing on them, which is my bad. Anyways, they recently announced something very interesting, the Eartha Kitt doll. And IT is not a big stranger to celebrity dolls. They did the Trixie Mattel doll not too long ago, but I really never expected them to do something like this. I think she's wonderful, though. I mean, if there's any celebrity who deserves a collectible fashion doll, come on, it's Eartha Kitt, right? And the doll herself is just absolutely stunning. Oh my god, like, how can you not say mother? That's mother. Unfortunately, extremely limited, and I think already sold out, but such a great release from Integrity. Really, really great. Alright, now we have a new Monster High Collector drop, the Hocus Pocus Sanderson Sisters 3-pack, which will be dropping October 3rd for $125. I think they're really cute. I've said this before, but the Collector line is just not something that gets me very excited. I don't own any Collector dolls. I'm a huge Monster High fan, but the Collector side of things is just not really for me, I don't think. That said, I think these are cute. I'm really interested in what appears to be like bigger body types in the G1 style. That's interesting. And I do think they translated everyone's likeness to the Monster High style really well. They all have really nice faces. The expressions are cute. I know I've talked a lot about fabric choices in this video, but I do think they would have benefited from something not so shiny. The colors are just a little garish, all in all, and I don't think it was necessarily intended, because if you look at the costumes from the movie, the colors are a lot more muted, more on the jewel-toned, earth-toned side of things. Also, I think for $125, they definitely could have thrown some paint on those accessories, especially Sarah, since her chest piece is like a bow and corset lacing, but you almost can't tell that because it just looks like a big blob of shiny plastic. So there's some things I really like about these, some things I don't, but I hope the Hocus Pocus fans out there love them. I think they're a really good addition to this Collector lineup, even if it's not for me, necessarily. Alright, last but not least, we get to talk about the upcoming Bratz Mean Girls collaboration collection. These were sort of leaked a while back, not in the sense that we knew what the dolls looked like, but we just knew this collaboration was happening, and I've been really, really excited for them, and I gotta say, they did not disappoint. I think this is the perfect example of how to do a pop culture collaboration. No shade intended, really, but everything from the promo to the branding to the dolls themselves is, I think, just really perfectly executed. It's also just a collaboration that makes sense. It really shows you how important synergy is for something like this, and the synergy is abundant. Man, there have just been so many good releases this time around. I'm only at like 20% nasty and mean and evil, when I usually get to be around 60 or 70%, but that's a good thing, right? Except it really sucks for my finances. Anyways, I love these. I know some people were complaining about Katie coming dressed in Damien's shirt and jeans rather than one of her more fashionable outfits, but I don't know. I think it's so appropriately camp. I actually love that they made that decision. Sue me, but I'm here for it. And of course, the plastics all look great, especially in the face. I adore every single screening. I am here to give Bratz their flowers for this one because I really think they knocked it out of the park. These are going to be released in waves on the Bratz website. Katie is first on October 3rd, then Regina on October 17th, and Karen and Gretchen in a 2-pack on October 31st. Katie and Regina are $60 each, and the 2-pack is $120, which is expensive. Yes. They are apparently very limited according to MGA. I think I'll just be satisfied with Regina. That's who I want the most. And if I don't get her, well, that's just going to be everyone else's problem. And that is everything I had on my list for today. As always, thank you so much for watching. It is, of course, now your turn to go down there in the comments and tell me all of your thoughts. Tell me which dolls you're most excited for, which ones you're getting, which ones you already got, and also which ones you're not getting. Because I do support being a hater, as long as you keep it civil and you keep it cute. But when you're done with all that, just be sure to like and subscribe for any future fashion doll content. Now go out and get those dolls.